Hello, Noswaith dda. Good evening. We're a little bit early, I think. There we are, dead on 6 o'clock. I hope you're all well. Croeso i'r Amser Story eventer. Welcome to the Venture Story Time. So this is the first time you've joined us. We've been reading The Worst Witch by Jill Murphy. So you can go back and you can watch chapter 1 and 2. And today we're going to read chapter 3. But before we do, let's have a quick recap of what's been happening. So in chapter 1, we met Mildred Hubble, and there she is, flying on a broomstick. And she attends Miss Cackle's Academy for Young Witches. And she attends there with her friend Maud. And there's some more pictures there, the broomstick and the book of spells that every witch receives. And every witch receives a black kitten. But Mildred wasn't so fortunate. Mildred received a tabby cat instead. And there we are, there's a picture of Mildred receiving the tabby cat from Miss Cackle. Now, as well as Miss Cackle, you've got Miss Hardbroom. And there's a picture there of Miss Hardbroom jumping in on Maud and Mildred the night before they were getting their kittens. And so also in chapter 2, they tried to teach their kittens to fly on their broomsticks. And Maud was having difficulty with her kitten. It was hanging upside down. Mildred's didn't want to go on the broomstick at all. But Mildred figured that she could put her satchel on the broomstick instead. Bit of a cheat, but anyway. So, on to chapter 3. Now, if you're watching and you want to say hello, please leave a comment down below. And I'll make sure I say hello to everybody at the end. But for now, grab yourself a drink. I've got myself a chocolate poith, a hot chocolate this evening. Lovely jubbly. And if you need one, a hot water bottle. But if we're all sitting comfortably, then I'll begin. Chapter 3. Do you remember I told you about a certain young witch named Ethel, who had succeeded in teaching her kitten from the very first try, that was to fly on the broomstick? Ethel was one of those lucky people for whom everything goes right. She was always top of the class, her spells always worked, and Miss Hardbroom never made any icy remarks to her. Because of this, Ethel was often rather bossy with the other girls. On this occasion, she had overheard the whole of Mildred's encounter with Miss Hardbroom and couldn't resist being nasty about it. So that was when Miss Hardbroom caught Mildred with her kitten in the satchel. "I think Miss Cackle gave you that cat on purpose," Ethel sneered. "You're both as bad as each other." "Oh, be quiet," said Mildred, trying to keep her temper. "Anyway, it's not a bad cat. It'll learn in time." "Like you did," Ethel went on. "Wasn't it last week that you crashed into the dustbins?" "Look, Ethel," said Mildred, "you'd better be quiet, because if you don't, I shall have to turn you into a frog, and I don't want to do that." Ethel gave a shriek of laughter. "That's really funny," she crowed. "You don't even know the beginner's spells, let alone ones like that." Mildred blushed and looked very miserable. "Go on then," cried Ethel. "Go on then. If you're so clever, turn me into a frog. I'm waiting." It just so happened that Mildred did have an idea of that spell. She'd been reading about it in the library. By now, everyone had crowded round, waiting to see what would happen, and Ethel was still jeering. It was unbearable. Mildred muttered the spell under her breath. And Ethel vanished. In her place stood a small, pink and grey pig. Cries and shouts rent the air. "Oh no! Oh, that's torn it. You've done it now, Mildred. Mildred was horrified. Oh, Ethel, she said, I'm sorry, but you did ask for it. The pig looked furious. You beast, Mildred Hubble, it grunted. Change me back. At that moment, Miss Hardbroom suddenly appeared in the middle of the yard. And there's a picture there of Mildred turning Ethel into a pig. Where is Ethel Hallow? She asked. Miss Bat would like to see her about extra chanting lessons. Her sharp gaze fell on the small pig which was grunting softly at her feet. What is this animal doing in the yard? She asked coldly. Everyone looked at Mildred. Let it in, Miss Hardbroom, Mildred said hesitantly. Well, you can just let it out again, please, said Miss Hardbroom. Oh, I can't do that, gaped the unhappy Mildred. I mean, couldn't I keep it as a pet? I think you have quite enough trouble coping with yourself and that kitten without adding a pig to your worries, replied Miss Hardbroom, staring at the tabby kitten which was peering round Mildred's ankles. Let it out at once. Now where is Ethel? Mildred bent down. Ethel, dear, she whispered coaxingly in the pig's ear. Will you go out when I tell you to? Please, Ethel, I'll let you back in again straight afterwards. Pleading with people like Ethel never works. It only makes them feel power. I won't go, bellowed the pig. Miss Hardbroom, I am Ethel. Mildred Hubble turned me into a pig. Nothing ever surprised Miss Hardbroom. Even this startling piece of news only caused her to raise one slanted eyebrow. Well, Mildred, she said, I'm glad to know that you have at least learned one thing since you came here. However, as you will have noticed in the Witch's Code, Rules number 7, paragraph 2, it is not customary to practice such tricks on your fellows. Please remove the spell at once. I'm afraid I don't know how to, Mildred confessed, in a very small voice. Miss Hardbroom stared at her for a few moments. Then you had better go and look it up in the library, she said wearily. Take Ethel with you, and on your way, drop in and tell Miss Bat why Ethel will be late. Mildred picked up her kitten and hurried inside, followed by the pig. Fortunately, Miss Bat was not in her room, but it was most embarrassing going into the library. Ethel was grunting loudly, on purpose, and everyone stared so much that Mildred could have crawled under the table. Hurry up, moaned the pig. Oh, stop going on, said Mildred as she flicked hastily through the huge spell book. It's all your fault anyway. You actually asked me to do it. I don't see why you're complaining. I said a frog, not a pig, said Ethel. You couldn't even do that right. Mildred ignored the grunting Ethel and kept looking in the book. It took her half an hour to find the right spell, and soon after that, Ethel was her horrible full self again. The people in the library were most surprised to see the pig suddenly change into a furious-looking Ethel. Now don't be angry, Ethel, Mildred said softly. Remember, silence in the library at all times. And she rushed into the corridor. Oh, wasn't that awful, Cat? She said to the kitten, who was curled up inside her cardigan. I think I'd better put you in my room and then go and revise for the potion test. Don't tease the bats, will you? And that means that tomorrow we've got the potion test. There's Maud and Mildred in front of their cauldron. So that is chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's have a look who's joined us this evening. Daryl Doughty, hello to you. Rhiannon, oh, Playworker Rhiannon, hello. Nicholas, Karen Mills from the early years, hello Karen. Playground Manager Bronson, hello Bronson. John Hughes, Lindsay Bagnall, hi Sean, you okay? Hi Lindsay, yes, very good. Holding up so far. Maureen Jones from the early years, she's watching as well. And Michelle Downwood is watching too. Well, it's lovely to have you all here. I think there's something going on with Facebook, so if you want to give this a share and make sure that other people get the opportunity to join us as well tomorrow, if fingers crossed we're here tomorrow, then please do. But now it's time for me to say diolch am wylio. Thank you for watching. Breuddwyddion dda, sweet dreams, and nos da. Good night, and hopefully I'll see you all very soon. Ta-ta rwan.